Hello and welcome to What the F Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Friday, May 7th, 2021. Welcome to day 108. The U.S. economy added 266,000 jobs in April, short of the 1 million that economists had forecast, and a sharp drop-off from the 770,000 jobs added in March. The April unemployment rate remained unchanged at 6.1%. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce blamed the weaker-than-expected jobs report on the $300 per week federal jobless benefits. Biden, however, argued that the disappointing employment numbers are evidence that Congress should pass his $4 trillion infrastructure and jobs package, saying, "Today's report just underscores, in my view, how vital the actions we're taking are. Checks to people who are hurting, support for small businesses, for childcare and school reopening, support to help families put food on the table." Biden added that today there is more evidence our economy is moving in the right direction, but it is clear we have a long way to go. Moving on, Texas legislators approved new, more restrictive state election rules. The bill would make it a felony to provide voters with an application to vote by mail if they haven't requested one. It would also empower partisan poll workers and limit extended early voting hours. The House version of the bill significantly differs from the state Senate version and will go to a conference committee to resolve the differences. The vote in the Texas House came after Florida enacted its own restrictive voting laws. Governor Ron DeSantis in that state signed the legislation live on Fox News' Fox and Friends, which restricts voting by mail and voting at drop boxes. In D.C., the Justice Department filed federal criminal charges against Derek Chauvin and 3 other former Minneapolis police officers in connection with the death of George Floyd. The federal indictment accuses Chauvin, who was recently convicted on state charges of murder and manslaughter and is now asking for a new trial, of depriving Floyd of his rights to be protected from the use of unreasonable force by a police officer when Chauvin held his knee on Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes. The other 3 ex-officers are accused of letting Floyd die by willfully failing to stop Chauvin when they saw Floyd lying on the ground in clear need of medical care. Separately, Chauvin was charged in another federal indictment with violating the civil rights of a 14-year-old Minneapolis boy during a September 2017 arrest by holding the boy by the neck and hitting him multiple times in the head with a flashlight without legal justification. Meanwhile, the Federal Election Commission dropped the hush money case looking into whether Trump violated election laws when he directed Michael Cohen to pay Stormy Daniels $130,000 shortly before the 2016 election. The payment was never reported on Trump's campaign filings. Cohen, however, was sentenced to prison for breaking campaign finance laws as well as tax evasion and lying to Congress. Trump thanked the FEC for dropping what he called the phony case against me concerning payments to women relative to the 2016 presidential election. Moving on, the top respiratory disease official at the CDC resigned. Dr. Nancy Messonnier was the first U.S. official to warn about the severity of the coronavirus pandemic last year, saying it's not so much of a question of if this will happen anymore, but rather more of a question of exactly when this will happen, and saying that cities and towns should plan for social distancing measures. Trump threatened to fire Messonnier shortly after her warning, leading to the halt of regular CDC press briefings about the pandemic. Her resignation is effective May 14th, and she will become an executive director at a philanthropical organization based in California. And finally, Trump's Justice Department secretly obtained the phone records of 3 Washington Post journalists over reporting during the early months of the Trump administration about Russia's role in the 2016 election. The Justice Department also tried to obtain their email records. A Justice Department spokesperson said the approval of the subpoenas to get the records of reporters happened in 2020. William Barr served as Trump's Attorney General for nearly all of 2020 before departing on December 23rd. The subpoenas, however, covered the period from April 15, 2017 to July 31, 2017. The 3 reporters, Ellen Nakashima, Greg Miller, and Adam Entos, wrote a July 21, 2017 story detailing how Jeff Sessions had discussed the Trump campaign with the Russian ambassador while serving as Trump's foreign policy advisor. In early August 2017, Sessions issued a warning that the culture of leaking must stop. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefuckjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Anditas.